Part 29. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi-Sing Cao. Chapter 283. 281. Huo Yingjun smiled like a noble man, nodded slightly to Qi Shu, extended his right hand to the door, and said, "Mr. Qi, tell me if you have anything to say." Qi Shu was startled and realized that Huo Yingjun had taken the photo. Holding the photo tightly, Qi Shu walked step by step towards the box where Huo Yingjun was. "Please come inside," Huo Yingjun said, neither humble nor overbearing. Anna chased out and asked slightly nervously, "What's wrong?" Qi Shu turned to Anna and said, "Take the child and wait for me inside." After saying that, he followed Huo Yingjun into the box, looking nervous. "What do you want me to do?" Qi Shu is a smart man. These people holding photos of their mother must have news about her. If you want something, you have to pay the price. Huo Yingjun personally poured a cup of coffee for Qi Shu and said, "Mr. Qi, please sit down. Let's talk slowly." Qi Shu sat stiffly in his seat and said, "We have no ill intentions. Even if you don't help us, we won't embarrass your mother." Qi Shu was stunned for a moment, then surprised, and asked, "You said my mother is wrong. You are very cruel to people with overseas connections, I know." Huo Yingjun said softly, "Relax, don't be nervous. People with overseas relations will be questioned. That's because there are many collaborators and traitors. For the sake of national security, they have to do that. Mr. Qi must know this." "I understand," Qi Shu nodded and pursed his lips. "Do you have any cigarettes?" Huo Yingjun took out a cigarette from the side, handed it to Qi Shu, and took out a lighter to light it. Qi Shu took a breath of Huo Yingjun's anger. After a while, he blew out 2 smoke rings and said, "First tell me how your mother is doing." Huo Yingjun took out an envelope from his arms, which contained 7 or 8 photos, and said, "Your mother is very good. There are several photos here. This is not something we investigated specifically, but happened by chance, which can be regarded as fate." Qi Shu threw away the half-smoked cigarette butt in his hand, tore open the envelope and looked at the photos inside. The first one is a family photo of a family of 3. The second picture is a solo photo of Grandma Qi-san herself. The third picture is a photo of Grandma Qi-san and He Tian. The fourth picture is a photo of Old Man Qi in military uniform. The fifth picture. Including the photos given to Qi Shu before, there are 8 photos in total. Qi Shu once again burst into tears and cried bitterly. If Huo Yingjun hadn't been by his side, he would have knelt down and kowtowed again. Although Huo Yingjun has never experienced such pain of separation of flesh and blood, seeing Qi Shu, who has always been cold and arrogant, so excited when he saw his mother's photo, he felt sad. There are countless historical reasons that have caused such separation of flesh and blood. Qi Shu may have the opportunity to see his mother who is still alive. However, many people are not so lucky and cannot see their relatives until they die, and they die with regrets. Huo Yingjun did not gossip, but waited for Qi Shu to finish venting. After Qi Shu calmed down a little, Huo Yingjun said, "Actually, there are many people in the same situation as you. Some have sons outside, and some have elders outside. The current split is due to political reasons. We can't change it, but we can change it. Environment to bring more people together. Where is my second uncle's arm? My mother's condition is not bad, except that her hair is gray and she is a bit older, but she is in good spirits. But how could this heroic second uncle be like this?" Huo Yingjun said respectfully, "What he lost during the war to resist U.S. aggression and aid Korea left Yanjing and returned to his hometown Kijia village. But don't worry, although he has no power, his unit guarantees his life and he is highly respected." Qi Shu nodded. This ending is not too tragic. Not everyone can retreat from the rapids. Those who can do it are considered smart. Qi Shu looked at the girl taking a photo with her mother and asked, who is this beautiful little girl? Huo Yingjun smiled proudly, as if chatting about family matters, and said softly, this is my cousin's fiancée. He Tian is now your mother's god-granddaughter. Your cousin's fiancée, Qi Shu looked unhappy, are you spying on my mother? Huo Yingjun smiled bitterly and quickly explained, no, we didn't know that Grandma Qi was your mother before. This woman's name is He Tian. She and my brother were childhood sweethearts. Now she is a young man in the city who supports rural construction. He happened to be assigned to Kijia village and had a fate with Grandma Qi, so she lived in your house. Later, because they had a good relationship, they met her stepdaughter. At the end of last year, He Tian learned that your mother wanted to go to Nanji, which is the Nanji University where you went to school, so your second uncle also went with you and lived in He Tianation's home. He Tianation's parents even recognized your mother as their righteous son. Mother. You said you didn't approach me on purpose, Qi Shu looked disdainful. How could there be such a good person in the world? Huo Yingjun got a little angry and said, Mr. Qi, I haven't finished speaking yet. You can't be so arbitrary. Seeing Huo Yingjun's unhappy expression, Qi Shu changed his words and said, then please continue talking. Let's see what these people are going to do. My cousin and He Tian took your mother and second uncle to visit Nanji. They went to Suanwu Lake, Sun Yat-sen Mausoleum, and Nanji University. Anyway, the places you wrote in your letters when you were studying, both of them took your mother to see you. At this time, my cousin didn't know about the relationship between you and Grandma Qi. During the Chinese New Year, I worked in the Foreign Affairs Department and came into contact with some people. You have always been our concern. I have reviewed and evaluated the target. As long as you are willing to cooperate, we can start a situation in country M as soon as possible. My cousin saw your photo at my place and found that you look similar to Grandma Qi-san. He investigated through some channels. I learned that you are from Hawaii City, Ontario, and your name is Qi Shu, which is one word different from Qi Shuliang. We don't believe there are so many coincidences in the world, so my cousin personally went to Kijia village in Daowen County to take photos. I also borrowed some photos and showed them to you, just to give them a try. I didn't expect that you are really Qi Shuliang from Kijia village, Huo Yingjun explained calmly. I can tell you it's all true. If you don't believe it, you can ask your mother if you see her. Qi Shuliang himself was very doubtful about those words, but he didn't care. What he cared about was Huo Yingjun's words, meet your mother. He dreams of seeing his mother. If there is anyone in this world whom he owes the most, it is undoubtedly his parents. His father has passed away and he has not fulfilled his filial piety. If he can't fulfill his filial piety while his mother is alive, how can he be considered a son of man? I recommend my old books The Wine Lady and The Fair Wife. They are all completed works. You can go and read them. A new month has begun. Thank you for your support in the past 2 months. This month I will participate in the bookstore PK. I need everyone's monthly votes. If you have any, vote for Kikai. Kikai will update more frequently. 3. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 284. 282. Qi Shu took a few deep breaths, and the next step was the key. What can I do so that I can see my mother? Qi Shu asked in a deep voice. He couldn't wait any longer. Others are middle-aged and in good health and can still wait, but my mother is already in her 60s and almost 70, so she doesn't have many years left to wait. Mr. Qi, what we have to do is to allow countless people like you who have been separated from their families to return to their hometowns as soon as possible. Please help us, Huo Yingjun said, and he offered help to make Qi Shu feel better. Then when can I see my mother? Qi Shu was so smart, Huo Yingjun didn't say it directly, he already knew what to do. If the two sides want to change the relationship, they must be recognized by the world. However, the United States is the #1 superpower. No matter what, this country cannot be avoided. Only by establishing diplomatic relations with the United States first can we open up the situation in a short time. After the two countries establish diplomatic relations, the situation will change, Huo Yingjun said. Mr. Qi, you will be our honored guest. Qi Shu clenched his fists hard and finally said, protect my mother well, I know what to do. The two sides have been in a stalemate, which is not the solution. He has no way to quickly open up the situation, but on the M country side, he can deal with it. Life is short and there are not many 20 years left. Thank you, Mr. Qi, Huo Yingjun said. Apart from the mission, we are actually relatives. Don't worry, Mr. Qi, we will protect Grandma Qi and Uncle Qi well. That's good, Qi Shu nodded. He already knew what he wanted to know and it was time to go back. His eyes fell on the photos on the table. Can I take them? Huo Yingjun nodded and said, of course, I wanted to give this to you. Qi Shu nodded, put away a few photos as if holding the most precious treasure in his hands, and walked out of the box where Huo Yingjun was. Qi Shu returned to his box and couldn't calm down for a long time, looking at the photo with burning eyes. Anna has been worried about her husband. Even if her husband comes back, his heart is no longer in the concert. After the concert ended, the family did not go back for a late-night snack as originally planned. When they returned home, Anna, Qi Zhengan, and Qi Zhenmin did not go upstairs. Instead, they looked at their father, hoping for an explanation. Seeing this, Qi Shu knew that they would not go back to sleep if they didn't talk about it today. He took out the photo and said, this is your grandmother. She is still alive. Just remember it in your heart and don't tell it outside. As expected, Anna nodded and said, thank God, dear, it's great that my mother is alive. Then when can we go back to see her? Or take her over and let us live together as a family? Yes, Dad, when can we see Grandma? Qi Zhengan asked with concern. He is 16 years old and has his own thinking ability. Qi Zhenmin is still young, but her parents and brothers miss her grandmother so much, so she also misses the grandmother she has never met. After China and the United States established diplomatic relations, Qi Shu said, only our family knows about this matter. You can't tell it outside, otherwise it will endanger the safety of our family. Especially Zhengan and Zhengmin, you two are still young. Don't tell anyone. If you do, not only will you not be able to see your grandmother, but I might also die. Anna was nervous and said, dear, we will never say anything, you have to take care. I won't tell you either, Qi Zhengan and Qi Zhenmin also quickly promised. My father has always been gentle and gentle. He is not as serious as he is now. They also realize the seriousness of the problem. Qi Zhenmin is the youngest. She doesn't understand why, but she thinks in her heart that if she tells this matter, she will have no father. After making an agreement with his family, Qi Shu began to spare no effort for this matter from that day on. He only had one thought in his mind, that is, to see his mother, live with her, and be filial to her. Huo Yingjun has been paying attention to Qi Shu in private. Some of Qi Shu's actions caught his attention. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Qi Shu is a powerful person. If he looks for a breakthrough from him, he will definitely succeed. What he has to do now is to secretly protect Qi Shu and Qi Shu's family. Grandma Qi San, who was far away in Daowen County, was combing He Tianatian's hair. She didn't know that there was a person on the other side of the world who was working hard to come back to see her. Oh, now we can only braid our hair. Unlike when we were children, we had many hairstyles. If you want, you can change 3 hairstyles a day and you won't repeat them for half a month, Grandma Qi San said. Sitting on a big chair, He Tian sat on the small stool in front of Grandma Qi San. Actually, I wanted to have my hair cut short. It would be easier to wash and comb my hair, but my mother said it would be a pity to cut it off because my hair is so good. I've always kept it, and it's so long now. He Tian said that her face shape is suitable for both long and short hair. Grandma Chi-san said with a smile, your hair is good, black and shiny, with no split ends. With hair like yours, if it is longer, it would be best for hair embroidery. Hair embroidery, He Tian asked, Grandma, are you using hair to embroider? Yes, it's just that I don't know how to do it. Fewer and fewer people are learning the old skills now. Grandma Chi-san said, okay, look in the mirror, do you look good? Grandma Chi-san held the mirror and gave it to He Tian. He Tian held the mirror and looked at herself with two pigtails in the mirror. Grandma Chi-san didn't start braiding her hair from the neck like other people. Instead, she divided her hair into two parts and braided it from the top of her head. It was very neat and there was no broken hair. It's beautiful, so beautiful, He Tian said. Grandma, your hands are so skillful. Grandma Chi-san looked at He Tian and found that the bangs in the front were too long. She took out the scissors and said, here, let me cut your bangs again. Girls, they have to be beautiful to live up to the good color. In a few simple strokes, Grandma Chi-san cut He Tian's bangs to be thinner, and then she made a few horizontal cuts, and the sparse and neat bangs came out. Such bangs can show He Tian's curved and delicate eyebrows, as well as her big and smart eyes. It looks better. He Tian couldn't help but said, thank you, Grandma. I dreamed about combing my granddaughter's hair and making clothes for my grandson. Now that I have such an opportunity, I have to thank you. Grandma Chi-san said, by the way, when you go to Hawaii City, you must listen to the words of village chief Chi. Don't running around. He Tian nodded and said, I know, Grandma. The reason for dressing up in such a grand manner is not to go to work in the back mountains, but to participate in the commendation meeting in Hawaii City. He Tian participated as a representative of young people in the city, and there was also another pair of model workers in the village, both of whom were quick and efficient at work. PK starts. I hope to get your monthly support and genuine subscription. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 285. 283. Nowadays, in large collectives, everyone works together, and many people are lazy and idle. Kijia village is still good. At the very least, if you work a lot and someone sees it, you can get rewards and praise. In many villages, this is not the case. After a while, Liang Hongyu came over and called He Tian. He Tian took 2 changes of clothes and went back and forth for 3 or 4 days. The weather was hot, so it was impossible not to bring a change of clothes. When they arrived at the county unit, Niu Peng personally led the team, gathering more than 30 advanced representatives from Daowen County, and got on the bus one after another. These cars are directly allocated from the bus station and sent directly to Hawaii City. There is no need to wait for the car tomorrow morning. There were many people in the car, and He Tian was sitting with Zhao Hongying, another female model worker from Kijia village. When they got to the car, He Tian felt sleepy and fell asleep soon. I slept all the way to Hawaii City. There were more people on the road. Cars often braked and swayed, making it uncomfortable. Only then did He Tian wake up. I was in Hawaii City last time and walked around a bit, but I wasn't too curious about this place. Instead, Zhao Hongying pointed outside and said, sweet girl, even if Hawaii City is bigger than our county commune, that's fine. Haha, this is a city, and our place is a county. Of course it's big, He Tian said. If I have time, I will take Aunt Zhao out for a walk. Ah, Zhao Hongying asked in surprise, sweet girl, have you been here before? Been here? He Tian smiled, Last time Xiao Yan was admitted to the art troupe, I came with her. That's right, Zhao Hongying smiled. Okay, let's go shopping when we have time. If we don't have money to buy, let's just take a look. It doesn't cost anything anyway. Tian Tian liked Zhao Hongying's refreshing attitude very much and said with a smile, yes, look at it, it's free. After a while, when we arrived at the guest house, it was already dark outside. Because of his outstanding work, after Lu Dehai was transferred, after a fight, Niu Peng succeeded in taking over. Niu Peng arranged the room and asked everyone to go down for dinner. The meal is very simple, 1 meat and 1 vegetarian, but the steamed buns are enough. Dabai steamed buns are not eaten very often on weekdays. He Tian Tian ate 3 fist-sized steamed buns, which already felt like a lot when she found out that Zhao Hongying had eaten 5 steamed buns. She was even more surprised. Hey, in later generations, if there is fat and water in the stomach, even a big man will be full after eating 2 steamed buns. I hope that household production can be distributed as soon as possible. Although we are still not rich at that time, at least we can have enough food. If we want to eat steamed buns, and eat rice, we can make rice immediately instead of counting the rice grains like now. Eat. Early the next morning, He Tian Tian dressed neatly, followed Zhao Hongying, and walked into the auditorium with everyone. There are 7 counties under Huai City, and each county has about 20 or 30 advanced representatives. There are quite a lot of people from Daowen County, and they will enter the venue in order. After a while, the auditorium was filled with people. Qi Jiakan's performance this year was very impressive, so he was placed in the middle and front row. Such an occasion is not the time for He Tian Tian to speak, so just listen with your ears. At the beginning, it was the municipal party committee and village chief of Huai City who made some passionate remarks. Next, Niu Peng from Daowen County gave a speech, talking about the process of fighting drought this year, and specifically named the village chief Qi. Village Chief Qi also stood up in the crowd and let everyone get to know the selfless village chief Qi. Then labor representative Zhao Hongying came forward to speak. This Zhao Hongying is not simple. Before she got married, she was rated as advanced every year in her natal family. After she got married, she was rated as advanced every year. He is very strong, can work better than men, and has a cheerful temperament. Not only the people in Kijia village like him, but also the leaders of the county respect him. He often gives reports to the county and he is not nervous at all. Zhao Hongying's report was simple and clear, but very meaningful and won everyone's applause. Finally, the person who took the stage to speak was He Jingyu, an expert transferred from other provinces to support Huai City. When He Tian Tian heard the name, she thought she heard it wrong, and asked Zhao Hongying beside her in a low voice, "Aunt Zhao, did you just say expert He Jingyu?" "Yes," Aunt Zhao said, "my name is He Jingyu. He has the same last name as you, do you know him?" After hearing this, He Tian Tian raised her head and looked forward with wide eyes. A tall middle-aged man walked forward. He Tian Tian covered her mouth to prevent herself from shouting in excitement. Seeing He Tian Tian like this, Zhao Hongying couldn't tell, so she asked in a low voice, "Do you really know this person?" He Tian Tian calmed down, turned around and said, "I know him, he is my father." Zhao Hongying was stunned, covered her mouth, and said in disbelief, "What a coincidence, this person looks so young, and he has a daughter as old as you." "Yeah, what a coincidence, I didn't know anything about it. Dad didn't write to tell me when he came to Huai City," He Tian Tian said angrily. "If I hadn't come to attend the commendation meeting, I wouldn't have known about it." "By the way, your father is here, but your mother is alone in Nanji," Zhao Hongying asked. Everyone who has a good relationship with He Tian Tian knows about the situation at He Tianatian's family. He Tian Tian frowned, shook her head and said, "I don't know. I'll ask my dad after the meeting." He Jingyu was making a report in the front and happened to see He Tian in the middle seat in front. He Jingyu was stunned and forgot to speak. Fortunately, he responded quickly. He stuttered twice and continued to make the report. He Jingyu did not expect his daughter to come to the commendation meeting. He and his wife had been here for half a month. They had just stabilized and were preparing to study and analyze the soil environment. They stopped by Kijia village to see his daughter. He did not expect to see his daughter under such circumstances. After finally finishing the report, He Jingyu walked to the edge and sat down. He Tian and He Jingyu were anxious, but the conference was not over yet and no one could leave. Finally at noon, the commendation meeting ended with a round of applause. He Tian followed everyone out one after another. As soon as he went out, he saw his father standing not far away, and his mother beside him. He Tian couldn't run quickly, she was excited, her face was red, and her eyes were red. "Dad, Mom." He Tian choked, "Why are you here? You came and you didn't even tell me." Wang Shuping hugged her daughter tightly and choked with sobs as she said, "We have only arrived not long ago, so we didn't tell you because we were worried that you would be worried. We will collect soil samples tomorrow and the day after tomorrow, and we will go to Kijia village then, so we didn't tell you." After hearing her mother's explanation, He Tian felt less resentful and said, "Okay, I'm not angry anymore." At this time, Secretary Qi Zhao Hongying and Qi Shuzhen also came over and asked, "Sweet girl, do you know each other?" The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Qi Xing Cao. Chapter 286. Village Chief Qi was worried that something might happen to He Tian, so he hurriedly came over and asked. "Village Chief Qi, Uncle Qi, Aunt Zhao, these are my parents. They are experts who come to support Hawaii City's agriculture." He Tian introduced, "Dad, Mother, this is Village Chief Qi who has taken great care of me. Uncle Qi and Aunt Zhao are model workers in our village." He Jingyu stretched out his hand to shake hands with Village Chief Qi and Uncle Qi. "I've admired you for a long time, Village Chief Qi, Brother Qi and colleague Zhao, thank you for taking care of my little girl. His daughter is doing things under the noses of these people, and as a father, he cannot follow her around, so he treats these people politely and hopes that these people can treat his daughter better. Haha, Tianyatu is diligent, well-behaved, and has made great achievements many times. Our villagers in Kijia village all like Tianyatu." Village Chief Qi said, praising He Tian. Wang Shuping took Aunt Zhao's hand and said, "Now that we are at the door of our house, come sit down at our house and have some light meals." Village Chief Qi smiled and said, "Tian, you go back with your parents. We will go back to the guest house for dinner, and then go to your house to sit down after dinner. You don't have to spend money to eat at the guest house, so you don't have to go to other people's homes to eat. No one has enough food now." Aunt Zhao heard this and said understandingly, "Yes, you don't have to spend money to eat at the guest house. If you have nothing to do in the afternoon, we will definitely go to your house to bother you." He Jingyu told Village Chief Qi the address of the county seat, which was in a staff residential area not far from the assembly hall. Village Chief Qi took people back to the guest house, and He Tian followed her parents home. "Dad, Mom, why are you here?" He Tian asked as he walked. "Something bad happened in Nanji. It's better to talk at home." "There are many people outside," He Jingyu said cautiously, as if he went out if he had anything to say, it would only cause trouble. When the family of three arrived home, Wang Shuping smiled and said, "Jingyu, tell Tian that I will cook. Get more delicious food, it's time for our Tian to grow." He Jingyu smiled and touched his daughter's head lovingly. "Daddy loves me," He Tian said crisply, still as soft and sweet as before. Only in front of her parents would she show such an expression. Wang Shuping heard this and said angrily, "Your father just said, I will do everything. If your father is good, your mother will be bad." He Tian got up and kissed Wang Shuping on the face, and said, "Mom is the best. Only mother is good in the world. A mother's child is like a treasure." Wang Shuping pinched her daughter's fair little face lovingly and said, "You have a sweet mouth, so I gave you the right name Tian. He Tian smiled and said, "That's natural. Stop talking, I'm going to cook." After Wang Shuping said that, she turned and went to the kitchen to get more delicious food to satisfy her daughter's craving. There was 2 kilograms of meat at home in the morning, which was all cooked into braised pork later. There were also vegetables in the yard, which were planted by others before and were taken away. The vegetables became ownerless and they moved in. Is theirs. Cucumbers, tomatoes, and long beans are all available, so you can buy several delicious dishes. Dad, tell me quickly, what happened in Nanji? Why did you come to Huishi? He Tian couldn't wait to ask. She wanted to know more and take the initiative instead of being so passive. Even her parents came to Huishi. Do not know at all. Seeing that his daughter was worried, He Jingyu said slowly, "The thing is like this, your uncle Huo." He Jingyu talked about the situation in Nanji and then told what Huo Jekan had said before. He Tian frowned and thought carefully. I see. He Tian nodded. In that case, coming to Hawaii City is indeed a good choice. Besides, it's close, so our family of 3 can meet often. Yes, your mother and I just want to see you more often, that's why we came. He Jingyu said, we will collect soil samples the day after tomorrow to see if it is suitable to introduce recent fruit varieties. He Tian smiled and said, is it the kind of peach you mentioned during the Chinese New Year? He Jingyu nodded and said, yes, the peach I recently researched not only tastes good, has few pests and diseases, and is durable. The climate here is suitable, and we need to find the right soil now. He Tian thought for a while and said, Dad, there are many barren mountains and hills in Kijia village, and the food output is very low. If you can grow fruits, you can sell them at a good price, which is more cost-effective than growing food. Daowen County is the most mountainous place in Hawaii City, so Daowen County is ranked first. I will also visit Kijia village when the time comes. He Jingyu said, if Kijia village is suitable, we will consider Kijia village of. He Tian said worriedly that people's ideas are not so easy to change. Why don't I know, so we need to find a village head who is more open-minded and willing to work, otherwise the work will be difficult to carry out. He Jingyu said, with the tools, it is easy to find a suitable mountainous area, but the following promotion is not easy. Seeing her father in trouble, He Tian said, Dad, you don't have to worry. If the soil in Kijia village is suitable, I will definitely be able to help you convince Village Chief Chi. Village Chief Chi is a good man. Although he is a little selfish, he is also a human being. It's normal, and I really want to benefit the villagers. There are several barren hills in Kijia village, and it's not possible to grow food. It's great to be able to grow fruits, which can be considered as extra income, so there's not much resistance. Okay, as long as the soil in Kijia is suitable, I will choose Kijia village. This way we can still see you and take care of my godmother nearby. He Jingyu said, speaking of which, it's really unfilial. I haven't done anything yet. Go see your godmother. It's okay. Even if grandma knows, she won't blame you and mom. After all, you are new here and don't understand many things, so it's hard to leave rashly. When I go back tomorrow, I will explain it to grandma. He Tian said, she was particularly happy when she thought that her parents could stay in the future. There was a reason why He Tian was so sure that her father would choose Kijia village in the future. First, the land and mountains in Kijia village once received the aura brought by heaven, and the vegetation is lush and green. It can be seen that the land there must be very fertile and suitable for the growth of fruit trees. Second, Village Chief Chi is an open-minded, enterprising person who dares to think and act. He has prestige in the village and has little resistance. That's good. He Jingyu said with a smile, it was the right time to come to Daowen County. Wang Shuping prepared the meal and asked her husband to come over to serve the food, and the family had a reunion dinner. Please vote, please. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 287. 285. In the afternoon, village chief Qi brought Zhao Hongying and Qi Shuzhen to his house. Wang Shuping made tea and poured it for several people. Tian, go pick some cucumbers in the yard, Wang Shuping ordered. There were very few fruits, and the fresh and tender cucumbers became the after-dinner fruit. Hey, Tian agreed readily and took the small basin for washing vegetables over to pick. As Tian picked cucumbers, she murmured to herself that the original owner must be a good vegetable grower. The vegetables are growing really well in this vegetable garden. Over there, village chief Qi was chatting happily with He Jingyu, and was very interested in the peach that He Jingyu mentioned. Brother He, we will have a meeting tomorrow to discuss this matter. At that time, I will be the first to agree and invite you and your wife to go to our village to collect soil first. Village chief Qi said that if the land is suitable, he must use it. The project strives to reach Kijia village. Village chief, there are probably some people in the village who won't be willing to do it, right? Zhao Hongying said. Every time something happens in the village, there are always people who oppose it. If the matter succeeds, they will benefit. If it fails, they will accuse the village chief of using his power for personal gain. Yes, the village is not monolithic, Qi Shuzhen said, expressing his worries. Village chief Qi smiled and said, as long as the soil is suitable, I will definitely facilitate this matter, not only to increase the villagers' income, but also to have other plans. Village chief, what other plans do you have? Qi Shuzhen asked curiously, wondering what kind of medicine village chief Qi was selling in his gourd. Zhao Hongying, He Jingyu and his wife, and He Tian were also curious and stared at village chief Qi. Village chief Qi smiled and said, build the road. SSS, Qi Shuzhen took a cold breath. Village chief, our village is dozens of miles away from the county seat. This is a big project. Yes, just because it is far away from the county seat, it is inconvenient for our village to travel to and from the county seat, village chief Qi said, especially during the rainy season. When it rains, the road becomes impassable. I am not just wishful thinking. My eldest daughter-in-law's family used to just like our village. A road to the county town was later built. Why was it built for Yangdaoga village and not for our village? It's not because our village is far away, Zhao Hongying said, they are closer, more than 10 miles away than our village is now. Village chief Qi smiled and said, that's just one aspect. The most important thing is that their village plants hundreds of acres of apple trees. Those apples are big and good, but the roads are not good, which will affect the transportation of apples, so the county we have built roads. What else does our village have besides food? In this case, why would the commune spend a lot of money to build roads for us? If we succeed in growing peaches, the transportation requirements for peaches are higher than those for apples. It's higher. In order to transport these fine fruits, the commune will also build roads for us. When several people heard this, they suddenly realized. Village chief, you are still thoughtful, Zhao Hongying said with a smile. If we also build roads, it will be easier to get to the county seat in the future, and the time can be reduced by half. Yes, even if we don't have bicycles, we can still walk to the county seat, Qi Shuzhen said, because it is far away from the county seat. Some people have not been to the county seat several times since they reached adulthood. Come and go, you can't go back and forth on the same day, there is no place to stay. Village chief Qi smiled and said, yes, the road is repaired and it is convenient for us to enter and exit. This is something that will benefit future generations. I must do it. He Tian poured tea for the elders and interrupted with a smile, if you want to be rich, build roads first. Ha ha, village chief Qi laughed, sweet girl is right. Since the road in the Goat Road has been repaired, the dry goods picked up on the mountain can be sold to the purchasing station, and the fruit trees planted can also be divided into a lot every year. Money. The life of that village is the best in our entire Darwin County. Yes, we have heard about it before, and we are envious of it, said Zhao Hongying. It used to take 4 or 5 hours to go to the county town from Yangdaogu, but now it only takes 2 hours on foot. With the bridge built, there is no need to detour. Darwin County has many mountains and water. There are rivers and streams everywhere. Some are relatively shallow and you can skate across them, but those that are deep cannot be used and must be detoured. In this way, the distance we need to walk becomes longer. When it was almost time for dinner, village chief Chi took his leave and would not eat here anyway. They felt bad about not eating free meals but coming to eat the food provided by the He family. Since they are He Tianation's parents, village chief Chi also told him to let He Tian live here and return to Kijia village together tomorrow afternoon. When He Tian met her parents, she had a lot to say. She kept talking non-stop, and finally talked about Huo Yingja. Hey, Mom and Dad, brother Yingja came to see me some time ago. It would be nice if I knew earlier, so that our family of 3 can meet more often, He Tian said with a melancholy tone. In this era, reunion is a luxury. Yingja's kid has been to Hawaii City. He went to see Director Liao from the work unit. When he heard that we were coming, he came to see us. Wang Shuping said, the kid is interested. He is so busy with work tasks, so he can still come and see us. You are so good. Ah, He Tian was surprised. Mom, brother Yingja has been here? When? It was the train that day. He got off the train in Huaishi, had lunch with us, and took the train back in the evening. Wang Shuping said, this was also a coincidence. He didn't know it beforehand. If he knew, he wouldn't be discordant. You said. That's right, He Tian said, if I hadn't come to Hawaii City, I wouldn't have known you were here. The family of 3 chatted until late. He Tian slept with her mother in the bedroom, and He Jingyu slept in the guest room. The mother and daughter continued chatting when they got to bed, but they didn't know when they fell asleep. Let's talk about village chief Chi going to attend the meeting. It was indeed what he heard from He Jingyu yesterday. Everyone's guess yesterday was correct. Many people looked down upon these and thought they were heretical and not positive. Village chief Chi did not express his opinion. He planned to go to Niu Peng in person after the meeting and talk to him to support the city's decision. If it is done, it will be Niu Peng's political achievement. Even if Darwin County is not suitable for planting fruit trees, actively responding to the city's decision can leave a good impression in front of the leaders. After the meeting, Niu Peng was disappointed with the village party secretaries in Darwin County. No one took the initiative. The village party secretary of Yangdaogu would like to think so, but apples have already been grown in that village and there is no room left to grow other fruits. When village chief Chi found Niu Peng was unhappy. Hearing what Chief Chi said, Niu Peng's eyes lit up and he said, let's go, I'll take you there. Your village is in the city, and it's also listed on the list. The leaders also know your Kijia village. You take the initiative to request, responding to the city's decision will be of great benefit to you and Kijia village. Thank you very much, continue to ask for votes, PK. PK. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 288. 286. Village Chief Chi followed Niu Peng to Director Wu, the office responsible for this matter. When Director Wu was in the meeting just now, his speech was impassioned and resounding, but no one was willing to take the initiative to support him. He was disappointed and lost any dignity in front of other colleagues. Now I see that Niu Peng has brought a village chief here. I heard that he wants to take the initiative to invite experts into the village to check the soil condition. If appropriate, contract out the trial. Comrade Niu and Comrade Chi are both good comrades and good party members, Director Wu said. Since you are so active, the unit will not reject you. I will go to the expert team later and the first stop will be you. Kijia Village, Daowen County. Thank you very much, Director Wu. Village Chief Chi said, we will definitely work together to achieve results as soon as possible. Director Wu also affirmed Niu Peng's work and praised him greatly. He thought highly of the good comrades who supported his work. Coming out of Director Wu's office, Niu Peng and Village Chief Chi were very happy. Whether this matter succeeds or not, it will benefit both Daowen County and Kijia Village. In the afternoon, Village Chief Chi asked He Tiantian to go home with him. He Tiantian said goodbye to her parents with great reluctance. Sweet girl, don't be sad. Your parents will come to our Kijia village tomorrow, Village Chief Chi said. Since we can still see each other tomorrow, why are you so sad? It makes your parents sad too. He Tiantian was surprised. Really? My parents will go to Kijia village tomorrow. Yes, Director Wu said it himself. Village Chief Chi said with a smile, I hope the soil in our village is suitable for you to grow fruits. He Tiantian smiled and said, do your best and obey fate. We seized the opportunity and worked hard. If the soil is not suitable, we will not regret it. If we do nothing and wait for others to make a lot of money, it will be too late for us to regret it. What you're saying is, if you work hard, you won't regret it, Village Chief Chi said with a smile. Young people are so awesome, we can't even catch up with sweet girl. That's right. Tia Nation's parents are both educated people, so they are naturally smart, Zhao Hongying said. If fruit trees can be planted in those barren hills, our village will benefit the most. Village Chief Chi, Zhao Hongying, and Chi Shujian are all people who want good things for the village. Because they are villagers of Kijia village and have lived there for generations, they all agree with this matter. It was already noon when they arrived in Daowen County. Village Chief Chi took them to have dinner at Niu Lily's place, then went to the place where the ox cart was stored, and drove the ox cart home. As soon as Village Chief Chi returned to the village, he had no time to rest and was anxious for the village cotters to hold a meeting and start a general mobilization of the whole village. He Tiantian hurried home and told Grandma Chi-san that her parents were coming to Kijia village tomorrow. Grandma Chi-san was very happy after hearing this, and smiled repeatedly. Oh, okay, not long after Yingja left, your parents also came. Please God, our village is suitable for growing fruits, so that your parents can I have lived in our village for a long time. From now on, not only will I have you as a pistachio, but I will also have your parents to relieve my boredom. Yes, let us fulfill our filial piety by your side. He Tiantian smiled and said that in the future, we can accompany Grandma Chi-san together with our parents. Grandma Chi-san is naturally happy. The more lively the house is, the better. When she got up early the next morning, Chi-san's grandma called He Tiantian up and tidied the house together. The weather is good today. I took out the mats in the house, wiped them with hot water, took them out to dry in the sun, and cleaned the house again, making it clean inside and out. When it was time to go to work, He Tiantian had to go to work. Grandma Chi-san is not idle at home either. She has prepared some things to entertain He Jingyu and Wang Shuping in the evening. Two experts, He Jingyu and Wang Shuping, and a male assistant named Xiao Wang, led by Niu Peng, came to Kijia village. The journey was bumpy, and the couple arrived very tired. After having dinner at Village Chief Chi's house, Liang Hongyu was taken directly to Grandma Chi-san's house. The couple lived in Grandma Chi-san's house, with assistants Xiao Wang and Niu Peng and Niu Peng's secretary live in the home of Village Chief Chi. He Tiantian, Grandma Chi-san has been waiting at home and hasn't even eaten dinner. Sweet girl, your parents are here. Before Liang Hongyu entered the door, she had already shouted to He Tiantian in the yard. He Tian quickly ran out and opened the door. When she saw her parents standing at the door, she said happily, "Mom and Dad." Wang Shuping smiled and said, "Silly boy." Liang Hongyu smiled and said to He Tian, "Sweet girl, your parents are very tired after riding in the car all day. Don't talk too late and go back to rest quickly." "Yeah, thank you Aunt Liang," He Tian said gratefully, "I understand." He Tian could clearly see the exhaustion on her parents' faces. "Okay, I won't go in. There are still people at home. You are a family, so I won't say more," Liang Hongyu said, then turned and left. He Tian welcomed her parents in and said, "Grandma is waiting for you too." He Jingyu and Wang Shuping came over quickly and saluted Grandma Chi-san. When Grandma Chi-san saw the couple, she was also very happy and said, "Okay, no need to be polite. When you are tired, hurry up and wash up and go back to the house to sleep. If you have any questions, we will talk about it tomorrow. Anyway, soil analysis is not that simple. Things are coming soon, and there is plenty of time. Then foster mother, you should go to bed early." He Jingyu smiled, "They can stay in Daowen County for 3 days, and then go to other places in Daowen County." He Tian took her parents to the room and asked them to go to the bathroom to rest. In the bathroom, He Tian put a large basin of hot water. After a while, the couple washed up and put on their pajamas. They wanted to chat with He Tian and Grandma Chi-san, but they were forced to sleep in the room. He Tian packed up her home and returned home, feeling excited. The voice of the Snake King came out of the enchantment space and said, "Your parents are here, are you happy?" Of course, they want to support rural construction. If the land in Kijia village meets the requirements, I can see my parents often in the future." He Tian smiled and said, "Being able to be with her parents is what she dreams of, even if she doesn't. It doesn't matter if you go back to Nanchi." The Snake King smiled and said, "Fortunately, I survived the tribulation before. So much spiritual energy nourishes the land of Kijia village, so in Kijia village, even weeds can grow lush and lush. It's exactly what I guessed. I thought so too." With the Snake King around, everything is full of miracles. He Tian was ecstatic. It was all her guess before, but now she got the exact answer from the Snake King. Said, even more happy. "Of course," Snake King said proudly. He Tianation's few compliments made Snake King find his confidence. The third update today, okay, from the 6th to the 9th, Big PK, 6 chapters. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 289. 287. What about the ancient gods? Not an ordinary human being now. So what if you have such a high godhead? Don't you know nothing now and can only rely on your own pets? The Snake King despises Huo Yingja. By the way, Snake King, I haven't seen you during this time. You must be practicing, He Tian said. In the past, Snake King asked to go to the back mountain cave every day, but now he hides in the barrier all day long and cannot come out. The Snake King was melancholy and said, "Actually, I also want to go out often to relax, but I still have to practice. If I don't practice, I won't be able to survive the 6 heavens mysterious thunder and the 9 heavens mysterious thunder, and I will only die by then." He Tian wanted to persuade the Snake King not to work so hard, but she swallowed her words again. Home is extremely important to any person or animal with feelings. Comparing herself with her own feelings, she herself was unwilling to leave home and her family, and she also knew that the Snake King was the same. In this case, it is really inappropriate to say those things that go against your will. Snake King, as long as you work hard, you will always be rewarded, He Tian encouraged. The harder you work now, the less you will suffer when you overcome the disaster in the future. Be fully prepared and seize the opportunity without hesitation when it comes. Live. He Tian seriously served the Snake King several pots of chicken soup for the heart, hoping to be helpful to the Snake King. The Snake King naturally knew this truth and said, I know this well. Take good care of yourself. When your parents leave Kijia village, go to the cave in the back mountain. Yeah, I'm remembering the date, He Tian nodded repeatedly, knowing that the day for her to donate blood was coming soon. After the Snake King finished speaking, he entered the barrier and continued practicing. Early the next morning, He Tian got up early to cook. When Grandma Chi-san, He Jingyu, and Wang Shuping got up, the food was already ready on the table. He Jingyu gave He Tian 3 days of meal tickets and money. Grandma Chi-san said angrily, you are here to eat, how can you ask for meal tickets? Foster mother, we are subsidized when we go on business trips, and we have to pay when we eat at other people's homes. He Jingyu said, we are all family members, there is no need to be polite. You can't ask for it? You are only staying for 3 days this time. There is enough food at home. If you live in Kijia village for a long time in the future, you will ask for it even if you don't give it to me. Grandma Chi-san insisted that she did not want these meal tickets. This pair husband and wife just see each other. Seeing this, He Tian said, Dad, please put it away. If Grandma says so, she will definitely not want it. He Jingyu had no choice but to put away the meal tickets and money and said, okay, next time I come over, I will bring the food directly. Haha, then next time, no matter how much you bring, I won't be too much. Grandma Chi-san smiled and greeted everyone to eat. After dinner, village chief Chi brought Niu Peng and others over and went up the mountain together. The place we went up today was the back hill where He Tian often mows grass. He Jingyu looked at the lush back mountains and was amazed, saying, I found that the mountains and forests here are much denser than the places we passed along the way yesterday. The grass on the ground is even more lush. Yeah, it's strange to say that there was a severe drought before, and the entire back mountain was very green. But one night, after thunder and lightning and heavy rain, the place turned into such a dense place. Many people said that it was the appearance of the mountain god. But we materialists must believe in science. He Jingyu and Wang Shuping became even more curious after hearing this. The back mountain is 21 meters above sea level, has a small slope, and has good sunlight, making it suitable for planting fruit trees. The back mountain where the entire village is located is estimated to have dozens of acres of fertile mountain land. He Jingyu and Wang Shuping took several bags of soil samples, labeled them, and carefully placed them in the boxes. After that, we went to several small barren mountains with an altitude of less than 100 meters on the other side of the stream from the livestock team. According to village chief Chi's opinion, the Feng Shui treasure land in the back mountain does not require planting. The reason why he brought He Jingyu and his wife there was to understand why the back mountain is so dense. Is it because the land is fertile? He even wanted to transform these barren mountains. These places were not high in altitude and the terrain was relatively flat. The reason why we don't grow food is because there is too little soil and no water. If it were before, Secretary Chi would not dare to think of such a good thing. But things are different now. Miracles have often happened in their Kijia village, and maybe a miracle will happen this time too. He Jingyu also took soil samples, plant samples, and water samples from underground rivers and spring pools in Kijia village from various hillsides. After that, in the next 2 days, He Jingyu and Wang Shuping observed the surrounding environment and conducted a comprehensive investigation. On the 3rd day, He Jingyu was about to leave and go to another village in Daowen County to inspect. He Tian feels sorry for her parents, but she also knows that this is their parents' job, so she can only tell them to pay attention to their safety and have a good rest. He Jingyu went to another village to collect samples. After 2 days of investigation, he returned to Hawaii City with his assistant Xiao Wang and conducted experiments in a simple laboratory. After the data came out, He Jingyu looked at the report, his hands were shaking a little, and he said excitedly, Shuping, come here quickly, come here quickly. Wang Shuping was observing the experiment. When she heard her husband's cry, she quickly turned off the alcohol lamp, walked over and asked, "What's wrong? My husband has always been steady and rarely appears so anxious. Look at this data. The soil in Kijia village is very suitable for the peaches I am studying. Especially in the back mountains, I expect to be able to grow top quality peaches. Although the data in those small barren mountains are not as good as those in the back mountains, they are still good. It definitely fits the bill," He Jingyu said with a smile. "I didn't expect to find a suitable place so quickly. To be on the safe side, you'd better do it again." Although Wang Shuping was also very excited, it couldn't be determined just because it was successful once. It had to be tested multiple times. Kijia village is a place where my daughter supports the construction. There cannot be any negligence, otherwise it will affect my daughter's life in Kijia village. However, they are also glad that it is Kijia village. After all, Secretary Chi is motivated and ambitious, and he can also see that the peaches they grow can bring huge value. There are not many village cotters like this. Last time, when the couple went from Kijia village to another village, the village party secretary didn't want to do it at all, so he had to accept it because of Niu Peng's face. However, in fact, it is not positive at all. If we don't want to make such a mess, it is more cost-effective to transform terraced fields to grow grain. Wang Shuping also put down her work and began to conduct experiments with her husband, observing the testing process without sleep. "Sometimes when I feel tired, I just sleep on the chair outside the laboratory for a while." The couple took turns and finally got the results the next morning. Although there is a slight difference from before, it is within the allowable range. Seeing this, He Jingyu was overjoyed and said, "Shuping, we are sure now, but to be on the safe side, we will do it again, but we have not slept all day and night now. Let's go home and rest first, and then do another test in the afternoon. If there is a problem, we will submit the report immediately. I recommend my old books The Wine Lady and A Fair Wife, which are complete and can be read by friends who are not interested in reading. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 290. 288. Wang Shuping agreed with her husband's words, cleaned up the laboratory, and went home to rest. The third test came out with the couple's eager anticipation. The data was correct and a report could be written. I was very happy to think that the couple could work in Kijia village in the future. Being able to work and be with their daughter, having such a thing in the world has already made He Jingyu and his wife very excited about the Huo family. Director Wu was overjoyed when he saw the report submitted by He Jingyu. Kijia village has such enthusiasm, so it is indeed a good choice. Are you sure the soil there is really suitable for growing peaches? Director Wu asked. He also knew that the daughter of He Jingyu and his wife worked as an educated youth in Kijia village. It is understandable that the couple wanted to see their daughter, but this is related to the promotion of agriculture in Hawaii City must be done with caution and not based on impulse. He Jingyu guessed that Director Wu was worried and said with a smile, "Director Wu, I am a science and technology staff member. I can only speak with data and not with emotions. My daughter is in Kijia village, and I really want to go to Kijia village to be with her. But when it comes to Hawaii City's big project policies, I won't do anything wrong." Hearing what He Jingyu said, Director Wu felt relieved and asked, "What do you think we should do next?" Director Wu, if the city is worried, you can contact the Academy of Agricultural Sciences in Nanchi first and transplant the hundreds of 2-year-old peach trees that I cultivated before. I will serve them carefully. These peach trees will be ready next year. The fruit will be ready. After everyone has eaten the peaches, we will decide whether to promote it on a large scale. Although it is slower, it is very safe, He Jingyu suggested. He knew that today's officials are afraid of something going wrong, so they are more stable. Not enough development. The fact that Hawaii City can do what it is now proves that the officials here are quite motivated. When Director Wu heard this, he was convinced and said, "Okay, you write a report and we will discuss it and try to give you an answer as soon as possible." "Yes, Director Wu," He Jingyu nodded. After He Jingyu returned, he wrote the report overnight, and submitted the second page to the leaders for discussion, and it was unanimously approved. So He Jingyu and Wang Shuping acted in two separate ways. He Jingyu took people to Nanshi to transplant peach saplings, and Wang Shuping went to Kijia village in Daowen County to make preparations. Before the saplings were shipped, an area was cleared in Kijia village to plant peaches. Although the back mountain is the farthest, it has good slope, good lighting, and the best soil conditions, so the couple decided to plant it here. The data is on paper, but some people don't believe it after all. If you want to grow the best peaches, villagers and officials will truly believe it when they see the fresh, top-quality peaches. Wang Shuping took the documents from Hawaii City and came to Daowen County to find Niu Peng. Niu Peng was also worried about this at first, but after hearing Wang Shuping's detailed explanation, he chose to believe the couple. Even for He Tian, the couple couldn't lie on this issue. Let's talk about village chief Chi motivating the villagers to plant peaches. Most people agreed, but a small number of people disagreed. The leader among them was Chi Shulai. While smoking a dry cigarette, he said, "Village chief, look, no other village has accepted this task. You can't let our village do thankless work just for your official title." Secretary Chi had long known that things would not go so smoothly, and had already thought of countermeasures. He was not angry at all, and said calmly, "Have you ever thought about living in Yangdaogu?" "I think so," replied the villager below. "Do you want to build a road?" Village Chief Chi asked again. "It only takes more than 3 hours to walk to the county seat." "Think about it, everyone, look at me and I'll look at you. Think about it, if we don't get good things out, will anyone build roads for us?" Village Chief Chi asked again. "We have lived here for generations, isolated from the world and too remote. Go to the county seat, it takes so long. Look at Yangdaogu. Not only did the supply and marketing cooperative buy the apples at a high price, they were praised by the commune and the roads were built the same for everyone. Why are there any differences? So big." Everyone stopped talking. Chi Shulai took a few puffs of dry smoke and said, "Planting fruit trees requires occupying farmland. Who has enough food now? They just count the grains of rice and cook. If these lands are used to grow food, everyone can get more food." Someone below listened and nodded in agreement. Village Chief Chi smiled and continued, "I have thought about Accountant Chi's idea before, and we have tried it before. In the early years, we also mined those barren mountains, but none of them succeeded. Accountant Chi thought that this time it would not be the same. Can it be successful?" Zhao Dejiao echoed, "Yes, we were there when the land was cleared. Those hills are also strange. No matter how much water you pour, they seep down and you can't grow crops. Some older people know these things." While the discussion was ongoing, Niu Peng came over with Wang Shuping and his assistant Xiao Wang. Niu Peng said with a smile, "Don't worry, everyone. According to the instructions of the city and county, peaches will not be planted on a large scale for the time being. Now we choose to plant them on the back mountain, open a test garden, plant 100 peach trees, and see condition." Back mountain, everyone started talking after hearing this. Back mountain is considered to be the geomantic treasure of Kijia village. Now that Daowen is opening, will it affect Feng Shui? It's just that the other party is an official, and they dare not speak out for fear of being accused of feudal superstition. "Yes," Niu Peng said, "the soil in the back mountain is the best and most suitable. The area needed is not large, only 4 or 5 acres of mountain land, and the amount of work is also very small. If we all work together, it will probably take 3 or 2 days. Finished." The people below stopped talking and looked at village chief Chi for a while and Chi Shulai for a while. I agree with this decision, village chief Chi said. The boat can be turned around easily, respond to the instructions of the city and county, and it can also protect the manpower and material resources of our Kijia village. Think about it, everyone, this is a decision made by the city and the county. So what if Accountant Chi disagrees? Accountant Chi doesn't dare to say anything now. Accountant Chi didn't want to stand out, and they didn't want to stand out either. Although the leading bird can catch more bugs, it is also easily killed by a shotgun. Seeing that no one objected, Niu Peng added, experts will stay here from now on and take care of these fruit trees. They will not trouble Kijia village. On the contrary, the planting must have been successful, and Kijia village is the biggest beneficiary. Niu Peng will not promise benefits out of thin air until the peach grows. In this way, under the tough attitude of Niu Peng and village chief Chi, the villagers started working together, and under Wang Shuping's instructions, they opened up 5 acres of mountainous land. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Sweetness of the 70s. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 291. 289. In order to prevent wild boars and bears from harming the precious experimental peach orchard, everyone also added a layer of fence outside. These fences are made of relatively thick wooden sticks and bamboo and are very strong. He Tian took the Snake King for a walk around the yard, giving these places the aura of the Snake King to ensure that those large beasts would not appear here. Snake King, that's great. I will live with my parents from now on. He Tian shared happiness with Snake King. The arrival of his parents diluted Huo Yingji's sadness when he left. Yeah, it's really good, Snake King said melancholy. I wonder how my parents are doing. When He Tian heard what the Snake King said, she immediately felt that she had done something wrong. She was very happy when her parents arrived. But the Snake King next to him left his parents, and he didn't know when he would be able to go back to see them. Her happiness is based on the sadness of the Snake King, and this happiness is also greatly reduced. King Snake, work hard. Fight, He Tian said, tonight, go to the cave in the back mountain. You drink more blood, and I eat more good food to make up for it. The Snake King nodded and said, thank you. At least I still have you. In the evening, after a tiring day, Wang Shuping took a shower and went back to the house to rest. When He Tian saw her mother and Grandma Chi San asleep, she secretly went to the back mountain. Late at night, it was quiet, except for the sound of He Tian's footsteps. When they arrived at the cave, He Tian sat on the big rock, took off her shoes, stretched out her left foot, and said, Snake King, come out. The Snake King appeared in mid-air, with golden shiny scales that were very dazzling. Let's start. He Tian closed her eyes and watched a snake drink her blood. She couldn't do it. Although she had met the Snake King and was very familiar with the Snake King, He Tian couldn't control her instinctive reaction. The Snake King knew that He Tian was scared deep down, but he still insisted on providing it with holy blood. This moved the Snake King a little bit, and he always felt that there was a slight warmth somewhere in his heart. Since she is scared, let her fall asleep. The Snake King bit He Tian's ankle. After a period of soreness and numbness, He Tian fell asleep. The Snake King took his time and sucked the blood from He Tian's ankle. The light on his body became brighter and dazzling. At the same time, he also felt that the abilities in his body were doubled under the catalysis of the holy blood, making rapid progress. The Snake King closed his eyes, enjoying the beauty of increased strength. When he opened his eyes again, the Snake King found that his appearance had changed. It no longer had the shiny golden skin, and it was no longer long. Instead, it had arms and legs. The Snake King was stunned. He originally thought that it would take 6 days of profound thunder before he could transform into a human form, but he didn't expect that it would only take 3 days of profound thunder. The Snake King was very excited and hurried to the pool to look at the reflection in the water. When I saw it, it didn't matter, I was dumbfounded. Don't do this, okay? It is a majestic Snake King. Even if it transforms, it must transform into a handsome man, not a 3 or 4-year-old milk baby. The Snake King looked at the reflection in the water and shed 2 lines of sad tears. What is this straight braid with red hair tied on the bald head? It's just a chubby round face, but why are there 2 little red dots on both cheeks? And the arms, so chubby that the joints are almost invisible? Lao Ji used to be handsome, thin, and tall, okay. The most eye-catching thing is the red belly band that covers the belly. Can you give me more fabric? Snake King, take a few deep breaths. The transformation is not complete, there is a small tail behind the back. This look is too childish. Don't let He Tian Tian see it. Otherwise, how can you show off your power in front of her in the future? However, the Snake King who just transformed into human form is a bit weak and cannot change back for a while. I change, I change, I change. After trying many times, Snake King has not succeeded yet. He Tian Tian slept for a long time, made a few noises, and was about to wake up. In desperation, the Snake King finally succeeded in transforming and entered the barrier. It's enough to have a stupid little spinner, and he doesn't need to come out to make up the numbers. Before the transformation was stable, he didn't want He Tian Tian to see its current stupid appearance. When He Tian Tian woke up, the Snake King was gone. The Snake King would wait for her to wake up every time before. Why didn't he wait for her this time? Snake King, He Tian Tian thought in a low voice that the Snake King was hiding somewhere. It was getting late, He Tian Tian shouted while putting on her shoes. Seeing no answer, He Tian Tian whispered again, "Gilo gilo me, call the Snake King." Although it has set up a barrier where He Tian Tian cannot see inside, the Snake King was a little nervous inside the barrier and said, "I have come in to practice, don't shout." He Tian Tian was used to the Snake King's awkward temperament, so she didn't care. She put on her shoes and hurried home. It was past 4 o'clock when we got home and continued to sleep for a while. When He Tian Tian got up again, Wang Shuping had already made breakfast. "Tian Tian, get up and eat quickly," Wang Shuping said with a smile, then brought water and washed Grandma Chi San's face. He Tian Tian got up in a hurry. Her mother worked so hard and had to get up early to cook. As a daughter, she was a bit unfilial. He Tian Tian quickly got up to wash up and came over to eat. "Mom, has the peach orchard been finished?" He Tian Tian asked. She had been busy mowing the grass these 2 days and did not go to the peach orchard where her mother supervised the work. Wang Shuping smiled and said, "The land has been cleared. After dinner, just let them dig holes at the place I chose. Then I will wait for your father to transport the saplings. There will be delicious peaches next year." He Tian Tian swallowed, "I will eat more by then." "You can eat it as you wish," Wang Shuping smiled, "this is the result of nearly 20 years of research by your father. I hope it can succeed here." He Tian Tian persuaded her mother, "Mom, the mountains and water here are beautiful, and the peaches grown here taste even more delicious." "I hope so," Wang Shuping said with a smile. She believed that her husband would be able to do it. If it weren't for last year's survey, this study would have already been published. The day after digging the pit in Daowen here, Niu Peng led a dozen ox carts from the county seat. Originally, 2 large Jifang trucks could solve the problem, but because the roads were not good and the vehicles could not get in, we had to use this primitive method of transportation. The mother and daughter were very happy to see their father back safely, but when Wang Shuping saw the big peach tree, her eyes widened and she asked, "Lao He, why, how did you kill this mother tree, brought here? All peach trees can grow good peaches after being grafted on this peach tree." The couple worked hard to find this tree in the mountains, with unimaginable hard work. The above text of this chapter has 68 words. The following are novels recommended to friends. Yinghui, the Empress doesn't want to live. Synopsis: is the Emperor's favorite concubine pregnant? Let her be. The Emperor's cousin has entered the palace. Let her be. The Emperor's concubine gave birth to a baby. Let her be. Someone poisoned the snacks? Quick. Bring it to me to try. All the palace maids were stunned. The Sweetness of the Seventies. Author, Chi Sing Cao. Chapter 292. 290. There were many people outside, and He Jingyu didn't want to talk about these things in front of people. Plant trees now, and let's talk about other things when we get home, He Jingyu whispered, not wanting his wife to lose her composure in front of so many people. He Tian pulled her mother and whispered, Mom, don't be excited or sad. The most important thing now is to find the best position for this tree. With the encouragement of her husband and daughter, Wang Shuping calmed down and looked at the mother tree with complicated eyes. That's right, Wang Shuping couldn't care less about being sad, took the shovel, and followed him up the mountain. Taking into account the terrain, sunshine, and creek, Wang Shuping found the best location. He Tian was dumbfounded when he saw it, not far from the entrance of the cave. Fortunately, there is still a few meters away, otherwise the entrance will be blocked and it will be inconvenient to enter the cave in the future. He Jingyu and Wang Shuping dug the hole themselves and poured water into the hole to plant the mother tree. Others followed the requirements of He Jingyu and Wang Shuping and put the remaining peach trees into the pit, poured water and filled it with soil. In order to prevent them from falling, bamboo poles or wooden sticks are used as supports to maintain the stability of newly planted trees. 100 peach trees are not many. Even if they are 2 years old, they are only as thick as a child's arm and are easy to plant. He Jingyu and village chief Qi accompanied Niu Peng to look around, while Wang Shuping came to the mother tree and stroked it gently, as if stroking her own child. Mom, is this tree precious? He Tian asked. The way her mother looked at the tree was just like the way her mother looked at her, so warm and loving. Yes, it is very precious, Wang Shuping said softly. When your father and I were in college, we followed the professor in Dong County, the hometown of peaches. Your father and I discovered that there was a tree with peaches that were particularly sweet, but that tree, the peaches on the tree were very small, and the farmers didn't like them, so they dug them up and threw them away. Your father and I felt sorry for them, so we took them back to the school and planted them in the orchard of the Academy of Agricultural Sciences directly under our school. Your father did it privately. After 7 or 8 years of cultivation, this peach tree was able to grow larger peaches than before, but they were still larger than those of other peach trees. Later, we tried to cut the peaches on this tree. The branches were cut into other larger peach trees, and the peaches produced were big and sweet. Your father and I saw hope. Peach trees are not easy to preserve. Your father continued to research and finally developed a good variety. There was trouble in Nanji. He Tian thought for a moment, stretched out her slender jade fingers, pinched her hands and said, Mom, this tree is older than me. Yes, he is 3 years older than you, Wang Shuping said. In the hearts of your father and I, this is our love tree, and it is like our first child. But he is not young anymore. The trunk is so big, if you move it rashly. Wang Shuping didn't finish her words, but He Tian heard it. As the saying goes, if people move, they will live, but if they move, trees will die. This tree is almost 20 years old. It is deeply rooted and difficult to survive if it is moved rashly. You might die in other places, but not in Kijia village. The soil here is good, the water is good, and there is aura. Mom, we take good care of it. If there is fate, this peach tree will continue to live, He Tian said. Parents treat this tree like their own children, and He Tian Tian also regards this tree as their own family. At noon, the workers left, but Wang Shuping still didn't want to leave. Mom, even if you want to look at these peach trees here, you have to wait until you build a wooden house here, He Tian Tian said. Now it is just a garden. Wang Shuping looked around, nodded and said, it should be okay. No, don't worry. This is a task assigned by the leaders above. If an accident occurs, the leaders will not give up and want to find out who caused the trouble. So as long as they are not fools, they will not cause trouble at this juncture, He Tian Tian said. Besides, there are no peaches here. Even if they do sabotage, they have to wait until there are results before they do it. Wang Shuping looked around and said, there won't be any large beasts here, right? No, there are very few wild animals in the mountains behind Kijia village. Even the wild boars were killed last winter. The mother and daughter went back to eat. After eating, Wang Shuping took He Tian Tian to the back mountain immediately. He Jingyu drank a lot of wine after seeing off County Magistrate Niu in the afternoon, but he was not in the mood to sleep, so he went directly to Daowen in the back mountain. Dad, why don't you go home and rest? He Tian Tian saw her father staggering up and quickly stepped forward to help He Jingyu. Wang Shuping got up and asked her husband to sit on a clean stone. He Jingyu's mouth was dry and his lips were a little chapped. He Tian Tian picked a few big leaves and went to the mountain stream to get some spring water for his father to drink. Dad, you drink water, He Tian Tian said. She still remembered that her father needed to drink a lot of water every time after drinking. Gilug gilug. He Jingyu drank a few mouthfuls of water, and He Tian Tian went to get some more. After going back and forth twice, He Jingyu felt no longer thirsty. Seeing her husband finish drinking water, Wang Shuping asked, tell me what's going on over there in Nanji. When He Jingyu heard this, he looked startled and said with a wry smile, hey, when I went back this time, I realized that the agricultural science station had changed its leadership and it was in chaos again. Not only the agricultural science station, but other places were also in chaos, almost the same as last year. Even more chaotic than before. When I went there, many projects of the agricultural science station were cut down, and these saplings were being cut down. These are my efforts, and the mother tree is also our effort. How could I? Watching these things being wasted. Wang Shuping's eyes widened, and she was speechless for a long time. Her body was shaking a little, and she wanted to think about the worries and fears of last year. Mom, don't be afraid, He Tian Tian comforted the timid Wang Shuping softly, holding her mother's shoulders to give her strength. It took Wang Shuping a while to calm down, and she said with emotion, fortunately, we came to Hawaii City. If we were in Nan City. Yes, if it hadn't been for Lao Huo this time, the two of us would have suffered too, He Jingyu said with emotion, I owe Lao Huo more favors. Wang Shuping nodded and said, yes, no wonder before. Lai Fang told me to let us leave, but they were afraid that we would think too much. In fact, they came here for our own good. Although they left their hometown, at least they were at peace, and they could still be here. With my daughter. He Jingyu was also very pleased and said, as long as the family is together, it doesn't matter where we work. Mom and Dad, it's actually quite nice here. There is also Grandpa's former colleague Professor Wang and Professor Gu in the animal husbandry team. Because of his previous meritorious service, he can apply to go back to Nanji, but they are not willing to go back. They said that the school in Nanji is closed, and there is no use for him if he goes back, so he might as well stay here and live a quiet life, He Tian Tian explained, hoping that his parents would be considerate.